Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, did y'all know that there are like weird random holidays for basically every day of the year? I mean, there are holidays to celebrate pets, to celebrate all kinds of weird stuff, and there's lots of holidays that celebrate food, which I think are the best holidays to celebrate. So today, in honor of National Onion Ring Day, I am gonna cake up a big old stack of onion rings with some special dipping sauce. So come hang out in the kitchen with me and I'm gonna help you cake it till you make it. I'm Becky, cake artist, wife, and mom to 3 kiddos in Kentucky. When I started making cakes, I had no idea that a fun hobby would turn into a passion and a thriving business. But I couldn't do any of this without my team, my family. We don't know how to do everything, but we figure it out as we go, and we have fun doing it. So come hang out in the kitchen and let me help you cake it till you make it. I love it when the flavor of a cake matches the whole theme and design, but don't worry, I ain't making no onion flavored cake. I mean, that's gross. In fact, real talk, I don't even like onions. I just don't, but I do like onion rings. It's weird, but I like what I like, sorry. Now, my favorite onion rings come from a restaurant called Bahama Breeze, and they're called Island onion rings. They have this awesome crunchy, like toasted coconut coating on the outside and this super tasty like mango mustard dipping sauce. It is so good. So I'm using those islandy flavors as my inspiration for my cake today. Now the first thing that I want to do is toast some coconut to make my crunchy outer layer, because I'm not going to use any fondant at all in this cake. So to get that crunchiness, I want to use a mixture of coconut and some cookies. So I've just ran some vanilla wafers through my food processor. So I'm actually gonna toast those with my coconut because I want them to have that really nice golden, dark, crunchy flavor. So I'm gonna put my cookie crumbs and some coconut. And I'm not a huge coconut fan, so I'm not gonna go overboard, but a little toasted coconut is pretty good with some cake. Plus it's like super fragrant and delicious. So I'm just gonna spread this stuff out pretty thinly on my pan, and I'm gonna pop it in the oven at 325 for about 3 or 4 minutes, mix it around and let it go for about 3 more minutes. And then we'll be all toasted and ready to rock. Okay, so now that my coconut and my cookie crumbs are all toasted, it's time to actually make some onion rings. Now I baked just a little sheet pan of a vanilla cake, and I sprinkled some crushed pineapple with the juice on my batter and let it kind of soak in. So that's gonna give it a nice little pineapple kick. And then I also made a coconut buttercream, and this one is just a basic American vanilla buttercream that I added a little bit of coconut extract to. So I'm gonna cut out some circles, lay them out here, pop them in the fridge, give them a little icing, freeze them so that they'll stay firm while I roll them in the crumbs, and we'll be all set. Okay, so my onion ring cake slices here have been in the freezer for about 3 hours. I left them in a little bit longer because I really wanted them to be good and chilled so I can actually pick them up like a ring. So I'm gonna run just a really thin amount of buttercream around one, and then I'm gonna roll it in my cookie crumb coconut mixture to make them all pretty. All right. Before I plate up my onion rings, I want to make a sauce to dip them in. Now, when I get my favorite island onion rings, there's this really tasty mango mustard kind of deliciousness that you dip it in. So I want to make something that looks similar to that. So I'm going to make a little bit of a white chocolate ganache. Now I've got some white chips in my bowl here. This is about 1/2 cup. And when I do ganache, I like to do 1 part heavy cream, 1 part chips. So I'm going to do 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Now normally I would just put this on the stove and let it come to a good simmer and then pour it over my chips, but I don't be waiting forever, so I'm just going to pop this baby in the microwave and warm it up. I've got my heavy cream at just a simmer, not quite boiling. I'm just pour that right over top of my chips. Swirl them around a little bit here. And I'm going to pop this cake board right over top of that and close up my bowl. Then I just let this sit for about 5 minutes for the chips to melt, and I'll whisk it up. Okay, so now the last thing that I want to do before I'm ready to plate up my onion rings is I want to hit them with an airbrush. I like how the coconut got darker, but the cookie crumbs could have been just a little bit darker. So I'm just going to hit them with a little brown airbrush and they're going to be ready to rock. Thanks for hanging out in the kitchen today. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you get a heads up every time we post a new video. Happy caking!